So, I played Pokémon Z-A, and I know I told you in the last video that I'll never buy this junk, but I wanted to see for myself if it really was as bad as people say. So, let's cut to the chase. It's a major downgrade compared to Arceus and Scarlet and Violet combined. It's a major disappointment.
Such a shame.
And not because it's a terrible game, but because it has so much potential, and Nintendo just threw the potential down the drain. It should have been a 10 out of 10 Pokemon game for me if they made it right. And there's just a few tweaks that they need to do to make it 10 out of 10. But would I recommend it? Well, if you're a Pokemon fan and you've got the money, then yeah, you probably still have fun for what it is. It's also great for kids who don't care about all the deeper stuff we're gonna discuss in the video. They just want a Pokemon game and that's what they get. But they get the bare minimum of it. Or let's just say, below standards. So my final verdict, it's a 6 out of 10 Pokemon game. But like I said, it could have been the best Pokemon game if Nintendo had given it more time to develop and pushed Game Freak to raise their standards. Because right now, their standards are pretty trash.
That is a pile of dog shit!
So what made this game disappointing and what should it have been to make it 10 out of 10? Let's talk about it. Well, the first thing is the pacing is a disaster right from the get-go. The intro and the first part of game are painfully slow. I played for 4 hours and the first 2 hours were basically all introduction. There are way too many cutscenes and restrictions. I just wanted to catch and battle Pokemon. Why do I have to sit through boring set pieces and forced story moments? I just want to battle my ass out, but no. The cutscenes are so sluggish, and the map is restricted everywhere in the first 2 hours I've played. Well, maybe I'm sluggish, maybe you could have completed in the first hour, but still, it's really slow, guys. I remember the first Pokemon game I ever played. It was Leaf Green. In that game, you get your Pokemon from Professor Oak and you can battle it out immediately after going out of the town. Then, after the next town, coming back and going to the next town again, you can now catch Pokemon. Easy as that. You're battling and catching Pokemon within the first 30 minutes you're in the game. It's simple and fun. Here, you're physically cut off from exploring by invisible walls. Your partner keeps calling you, telling you to stop wandering and stay on the path. It's frustrating. I just want to catch that freaking Pikachu. And what's more frustrating is that there's no voice acting. Again. Yeah, I know Nintendo doesn't like voiceovers, but they did it with Zelda. I mean, Zelda has a voice now.
I am the daughter of King Rome of Hyrule, Zelda.
And it's awesome. Thinking about it, this game has tons of cutscenes, and it really is boring. It would have been way more interesting if there was even basic voice acting. The next disappointment is the map is really small. This city, it's small, guys, and it feels empty. After 2 hours, I could finally explore, but there's not much to explore. It's just rooftops and a small city. No outdoor areas where the wild Pokemon naturally live. Instead, we have free zones where you can catch Pokemon, but they're limited and feel really disconnected with the world. The whole thing would have worked better if the city was just a part of a larger map, like in Pokemon X and Y, or if there were more cities with big free zones in between. And don't get me started on the city design, it feels half-baked. You can't even enter buildings. They're just static backdrops for whatever great city this is. The windows even look like Poke-Stadiums cut up, which is just plain sad. I mean, the stores doesn't even have interior, it's just menus. Aside from that, the graphics is really disappointing. And yeah, it's not Nintendo's strong suit, but this, it's like serving raw food at a restaurant. Genshin looks miles better. Assassin's Creed 2, which by the way came out in 2010, looks better. Even Legend of Zelda has better graphics. And that's on the Switch 1. They could have used a similar art style to Zelda or similar graphic design and it would have looked miles better. But no, they gave us what it feels like an upscaled GameCube game. The next disappointing thing are the battle areas. They're cool, but it can be improved upon. It's really underdeveloped. I actually like the idea of designated battle areas where you can fight other trainers. zones. It would have been miles better though if there were online battle zones where you can face real players and you can see them roaming around it. Or even cooler, imagine if the whole city became a battle zone at night with safe zones scattered around, like the Purge, but with Pokemon battles. That would have been more awesome. They just needed to think out of the box and change their perspective, and it would have been miles better. Imagine the whole city you're battling out with AI trainers, computer trainers, or real life trainers, multiplayer online battles, and you just move around the whole city. That would have been awesome, right? And make the safe zones like somewhere near the Poke Centers and stores. That would have been cool. Instead, we have this battle areas. Such a shame. There's so much potential in this. Anyway, the next disappointment is the combat system. The combat is kind of fun, but it's majorly flawed. If you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you'll notice some similarities in the battle system. But unlike Xenoblade, you don't feel as involved here. You just end up running around waiting for cooldowns, and if all you have left is Growl, guess what? You're spamming Growl. While in Xenoblade, your character keeps auto-attacking during cooldowns. It makes you stay engaged. You feel like you're fighting with a team. It feels very dynamic. The system just feels right with Xenoblade. But with Pokemon, it feels disengaged. But that can be fixed. While Pokemon battles are slightly better, you can actually dodge and react as they try to hit you. It's that time that I feel really engaged with the battle. It made things feel more dynamic and engaging. But trainer battles, you're just running around in circles like an idiot. And when you try to switch Pokemon mid-battle, there's this awkward 3-second delay before the next one can even attack. It completely kills the momentum, and that's the major flaw of this battle system. You know what? If they removed that 3-second delay, this would have been miles better. Why? Because you can chain attacks. Why not let us chain attacks by switching Pokemon instantly? Better yet, give us an actual combo. Let the Pokemon team up with combo moves or elemental chains. Imagine hitting with a water move, then following up with an electric for a bonus critical damage. That would have made battles deeper, more strategic, and way more fun. What they did is that they just took Xenoblade's battle system, make it bare bones, and put it on Pokemon. That's what they did, and it removed the fun of it. You know what's making me angry or making me sad? They're just one step away to greatness with the battle system. Not only that, with everything. With the map, they could have made the whole city the battle area. Could have made the city like just one part of a bigger map. Could have fixed the pacing with voice acting, really. It's not a large leap. Maybe the graphics was a large leap because they can freaking make a game that has great graphics for some reason. But the other things, they're just small adjustments that they can make to make this game 10 out of 10, solid, or maybe 9 out of 10. But no, they didn't do it. Maybe because of time constraints, or maybe it's just because this game is just a trash release. They just want a Pokemon game so they can sell Switch 2. We don't know. TLDR, here's how to fix it. Make a bigger, better world. Just make the city one part of a larger map. Make natural Pokemon habitats, wild zones that feel organic and alive, and miles bigger. A revamped combat system that add team combos, faster switching, and no cooldown lag. Faster pacing on the story. Cut out the intro. Let us play the game sooner. 2 hours for an intro, or maybe 1 hour for faster players, but still, that's a long-ass intro. Modernize the graphics. At least Zelda tier visuals. Something closer to Pal World would actually be ideal. Or maybe Genshin. Genshin Impact's graphics would be a perfect example of how you should do it for Pokemon. That would have been perfect. And just to add something, why not just add a difficulty setting? This will fix any issues with the battle system being too strong, making the game too easy. We can have a more deeper engaging battles if Pokemon was a bit harder. And fun fact, Game Freak, your customers aren't just kids. They are grown adults. So just add a normal and a hard mode. Maybe there are more adults playing this game actually. Anyway, that's it. Just these 6 changes, that could have made this game a 10 out of 10 Pokemon game. Instead, it feels like a beta or an experiment for a much better game they could make. And I really hope Nintendo delivers with the next title, because if they don't, they might actually finally lose the respect and trust of their longtime fans. Right now, it's starting to feel like Nintendo has become a greedy villain of the gaming industry. They're tone deaf to what people actually want. Anyway, that's it for today. I'd still recommend giving the game a shot if you've got money to spare. Underneath all of its flaws, it's still a Pokemon game, but a really disappointing one. So, will you buy it or not? Comment below. Or did you enjoy the game? Comment below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit subscribe and consider supporting us on Patreon. It's one way to support us right now. See you in the next video. Bye!